All right, it's another day. We're on another job site. We're gonna trim up these bushes right here, cut back the tree a little bit, mainly off of the roof. We are also going to blow out this courtyard area, cleaning up these bird feathers and trimming these bushes back. Here's an inside angle of the branches that we're gonna trim back from the roof line. Coming into the backyard area, you can see this overgrown bush. We're gonna go ahead and trim that back. Furthermore, clean up these leaves. Towards the end, you can see this overgrown bush. We're gonna trim this back. All right, let's go ahead and hop up into this. All right, I'm gonna start out by filling up with gas and placing my hedger attachment onto the FS91R. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start out with this first bush. I'm gonna hit up this tree line and then move on into these two bushes. Gentlemen, start your engines. All right, you can see our edge along the tree coming down. We have our bush shaped out, and looking back in this area of the tree, nice and lined up. Looking from this angle, you can see we trimmed it back. I also noticed these droopy flaps coming down off of this feature. We're gonna cut those back as well. Launching off into these bushes. Let's go ahead and get started on this process. All right, here is what we have so far. Nice and sculpted back. In this area, we're gonna go ahead and cut out the portion that's touching the bush, giving it some space. In order to do that, we're going to have to switch over to our pole pruner attachment. We now have our pole pruner in effect. Let's go on ahead and get this trimmed up. Here's what we have so far. It looks like we opened this up quite a bit. Just a few more cuts to make. Looks like we're definitely going to be hitting the dump on this one. You can see from this angle how it's opened up from the bushes. There is still some trimming to do in this area and this area. I'll be right back with you. All right, so we got that all cut back. Let's go on ahead and move on to the next task. Before we jump up into the trimming along the wall, we're gonna cut back this branch, and this branch. This will prevent any further growth into the wood or into the masonry feature. All right, so that takes care of that. Let's go on ahead and launch off into trimming these back with the pruners. All right, I went on ahead and just trimmed the tips. That way I didn't have to take out this whole branch. At this point, I can go on ahead and start loading these branches. All right, so I have pulled out everything that I need. I have my straps all ready to go. Got the tire up against the window, giving myself plenty of space for hauling these branches. I have also placed a tarp on the inside. That way when it comes down to pulling this out, I could just flip the tarp out. Let's go on ahead and start trimming this portion away from the wall. You'll find that when loading branches into a truck bed, sometimes it overhangs. So that's why we utilize the loppers. Basically, you want to just trim it back right here. As you see here, it's been trimmed back. And we can throw the branch into the back of the bed. Also, when loading, you want to place the sizable branches in to fit parallel. That way they can squish down. Already when trimming the branches, they're cut sizable for that purpose of loading. Let me go on ahead and give this a stomp. All right, looks like we can fit a lot much more in here. Let's keep it going. All right, we got that all loaded up. Let's go on ahead and trim this and load that on up. All right, that's looking magnificently trimmed back from the wall. Let's go on ahead and approach this feature. All right, we got that feature all spruced up. Let's go ahead and load this up and keep on moving. Here we are after the quick pickup. In this next area of trimming, we are going to utilize the hedger attachment to cut this back. In this area, we're going to use the pole pruner. Let's go on ahead and switch this out. And let's get started. All right, so here we are on top of the wall, and I'm safely mounted right here on this platform. I'm also going to move on to that platform when it comes down to working in that area. But let's fire this up and go ahead and trim this all back. All right, I was able to make it safely across. What I'm thinking is because I'm too close to the branches, I'm gonna have to go ahead and utilize the loppers to trim this portion up. Let's go on ahead and hop down. I've basically done what I could with the loppers. Remaining is this branch, which I'm gonna go on ahead and hook up the pole pruner and get that chopped out. Here we are down below, getting ready for the attachment swap. Also from below, our progress so far. Let's go on ahead and check it out from up here. So we got that all trimmed back. That's looking terrific. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and trim up these shrubs. But first, let's go on ahead and collect our trimmings and get those loaded up. Checking it out from this end, you can definitely tell how much was cut back. Outward look of the load before a stomp. We got that crushed down nice and swell. Really, when stomping the load, all you need to consider is wearing pants and steel-toe boots. Let's go on ahead and start trimming up these bushes. All right, we got that all trimmed back. We'll go ahead and get the rest of this shrub with the hand pruners. Next up, we're gonna go on ahead and start trimming all this area back. All right, we got this section spruced up. Next up will be this area that you see ahead. Let's go on ahead and trim that up. All right, that's all trimmed back. Some of the straggling branches we're gonna go ahead and take care of with the pruners. Let's go on ahead and clean this up. All right, so we've done all our detailed trimming. This area is now opened up. I also went ahead and pulled out my tarp. That way I can load up the trimmings as I walk out of here. All right, so we got our trimmings all picked up. We got it spruced up with the pruners, and we're ready to go ahead and drag this on out. All right, and that brings us into this area. All right, any additional loose stuff, we'll go ahead and load up into a bag. Let's go ahead and keep this process moving. Able to blow about 5 piles. There's one, a couple over here in the corner, 4th one in this corner, 5 and 6 up here. And I'm gonna go on ahead and get a bag and pick this stuff up. All right, so we got our piles all picked up. It's nice and clean here in the front. We're gonna go on and move into the last area. So here we are in the last area of pickup. We're basically gonna do a final blow, bag this up, load the bag, tarp up the truck, and head on out. All right, we got all our cleanup complete. Everything's trimmed. The bushes can breathe. Let's go on ahead and tarp this up. All right, we are all tarped up. because it's already 5 o'clock, we're not going to be able to run this to the dump, but we'll go ahead and take care of that in the morning. All right, so now I'm basically utilizing the broom to brush the rocks flat. Basically doing an overall look over. We trimmed back these bushes here in the backyard, picked up the leaves on the ground and trimmed the bush that's in the corner. Moving forward into the front, we trimmed back the bushes, cleaned up the ground, and trimmed back the tree from the neighbor's roof. Up in the front, we trimmed back all these shrubs. We also cut back the trees significantly. You can see that we trimmed the tree back from the bushes. Everything's looking magnificent. Over here on the side where we trimmed back the tree from the roof,